Thank you.
Okay. Cool. Okay, ladies, again, we are only females. Cool. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you guys, or want to go over is, does everybody get the page I sent last week with the benefits of a healthy lifestyle? Did you all kind of read through it, glance through it? Cool. Okay, so I want to unpack it a little bit, but we're not going to focus too much on it. So obviously, if you go onto Google, you're going to find a lot more info on this. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a short little page on what I thought was quite important with regards to the benefits of a healthy lifestyle. So let's quickly run through it. So the first one obviously was preventing, or what is one of the benefits? Prevents diseases. So if you guys go and you ask 50 different people what their definition of a healthy lifestyle is, you are going to get 50 different answers. To me, a healthy lifestyle simply just means doing things that make you feel good and making changes to improve your health and your life. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to find that page, but here we go. Okay, so preventing diseases. So healthy habits can reduce various diseases. And I gave you guys a little study there that I found that said, for example, in a recent study, adults who followed a standard American diet, rich in fruits and vegetables, for 8 weeks had a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease. If you go Google a few of these studies, you will find a ton of quite interesting, outcomes with regards to this. So one that I also found that was quite interesting was there was a study where researchers found that every 66 gram increase in daily fruits and vegetables was associated with a 25% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So if you guys ever have the time, go Google some of the research. It's mind-blowing. You go into quite a state of shock if you read some of these things. The next one said lengthens your lifespan. Obviously, if you smoke 4 packs of cigarettes a day and you drink 5 bottles of whiskey a day, your lifespan probably not going to be as long as someone that has a healthy routine, someone that goes for a run every morning, someone that eats healthy fruits and vegetables. So Lena will probably live longer than I do because she is a marathon runner and I cannot do that. Heart health. So sources report that it is possible to prevent up to 80% of premature heart disease and stroke diagnosis with lifestyle changes. For example, increasing your physical activity. So another, again, me with all my studies that I've went and looked up, a study has also shown that as little as 11 minutes a day may add years to your life. So they did a study with, I think it was 44,000 adults, where those who did about 11 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity each day had a lower risk of death compared to those who only exercised at an intense rate for 2 minutes. And the comparisons, oh goodness, I'm getting so tongue-tied today, held true even for those people that sat for 8.5 hours a day. So you don't need to go and do 2 hours of treadmill. You can just do 11 minutes of moderate exercise and it's going to make a major difference on your lifespan. So I see 2 people are trying to get into the break room, or trying to get in, but it's not. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, where are we now? Reduces the risk of cancer. So eating foods that contain a lot of antioxidants can reduce a person's risk of developing cancer by protecting cells from damage. So what's the word? Many phytochemicals found in fruits, vegetables, nuts contain antioxidants. Phytochemicals are basically just compounds that are found in plants. It basically means plant produced. So things like berries, what else is an antioxidant? Berries, leafy greens, pumpkins, and carrots. Fruits like these will protect you and will kind of lower your risk from cancer. Does anybody have any questions so far? Anything they would like to add? I know a lot of you guys are very into health and fitness and stuff like this and might have something they want to add as well. Lenny, did your hand go up or did you just touch your hair? Oh, just checking. Okay, so the next one is better mood. I believe in this one 100%. If I don't exercise and if I don't eat healthy, I feel groggy, I feel irritated, I feel bloated, and I feel sluggish. Whereas I've had a healthy week, I exercised a lot, I ate healthy, I always feel better and I feel a lot happier and less snippy, if that makes sense. Improves your gut health. So your colon, so certain strains of bacteria found in vitamin K and B benefits the colon. So these strains also fight against harmful bacteria and viruses. So a diet low in fiber and high in sugar and fat has the opposite effect on your gut. So it will increase inflammation. So for someone like me that has IBS, I need to completely stay away from low fiber diets, high in sugar diets, and a lot of fat in my diet, because my bowels get extremely inflamed and I go into extreme pain. So I need to go for a diet that has more vegetables, fruits, and whole grains in it. So fruits that have foods that have probiotics in them. So yogurt, buttermilk, pickles, kombucha, bananas also actually are quite high in probiotics. What is the next one? Improved memory. A healthy diet may help with maintaining brain health. Obviously, it helps with fat loss. Again, diabetes management and stronger bones and teeth. I feel like everybody's mom has told them that one time or another. Anybody have any questions so far? Guys, I know I'm going through this quite fast, but I do want to just jump into the session we were supposed to have tonight. So I know I'm just kind of reading through it, giving you guys a little bit of info, but I feel like the page is also quite self-explanatory. Am I right? Cool. Okay, so just the last little bits of pieces. How to improve your lifestyle, get a good night's rest, obviously. Cut down on sugar, swap soft drinks for healthier options. 50% of your meals should be fresh produce. I feel like a lot of us struggle with this. Avoid processed foods, eat more lean protein, consume less salt, reduce the risk of harmful fats, be active, and drink more water. So it's little things we can do to kind of help our lifestyle. Cool. Does anybody have anything they want to add to that? Anybody have any healthy lifestyle secret they want to share with the group? Nobody. Lenny, not even you.
No, I mean, like you said, I think everyone here is pretty health conscious, and these are basic things that you need to follow. And I think if you do live healthily, you're aware of this. So, I mean, these are just basic things that should be daily. You should be aware of daily.
Yeah, that's why, guys, like I said, I'm just going to run through it quickly. I think most of us know all these things, but your client might not. Your client might have a few questions. So I do have a separate page that I made a ton of notes on, and where I jotted down a lot of some of the research that I found, and where I did go a little bit more into detail with all of these topics. So if any of you want to get that page as well, let me know and I'll send it to you. It is a little bit more info. It's just everything a little bit more unpacked, if it makes sense. So if you want the page, just let me know and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to have that, Chandra, just to, you know, as you say, our clients might not know. So to go into more detail, it's always nice to have that. I would definitely like that.
I didn't want to send you guys a whole page where I was rambling on. So I thought I'd give you the short and sweet version, but it's cool. I'll send it to you guys. Sally, do you have a question?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to add a comment. I'm not sure if we mentioned it here, but I think as much as the exercise is important, another thing that's also important is the recovery and the rest, because if we overdo it, that contributes to the stress, and that's not going to be good. That's what I wanted to add.
Yes, so we are actually going to have, so I think it's session 22 or 23. We're actually going to have a whole session on exercise and recovery. I might get my gym pants out and stretch for you guys. Going to be a fun lesson, but we are going to have a whole session on exercise and recovery, because I do agree, Sally, people really neglect how important it is to recover after exercise. You break your muscles and it's okay, cool. Anybody else have a question? Pam, is your hand up, or are you saying you agree? Yes.
Yeah, I agree with everything. And I mean, I think it's quite a condensed sheet that you gave us there with all the basics. But yes, we'd love all your other notes that you put in there, because that might trigger something that comes up in a question. But what I want to say for myself is that in my journey, I had to learn how to be very conscious of, when I was preparing my food, of sitting in front of that food and be conscious as I was eating. Because if you're not conscious of the portion you've made and the food that you're putting into your body, you know, then you're just pushing it in and you're not thinking about it. You've gone to all that trouble to prepare the food and to put healthy options in your fridge and, you know, do that whole thing. So I think a very important factor is to be very conscious as you eat your food and mindful of how you're eating. And that's quite important. Chew your food, especially for someone who has a gut health issue, you know. That's the only thing I'd really like to add right now.
Cool. Thanks, Pam. I'll send that page to you guys probably within the next 2 days. Like I said, it's my notes I made. So I don't know. It might be a little bit confusing. So let me just go and reconstruct it so it's a little bit easier to understand. And then I'll send it to you guys. But I agree with what you're saying, Pam. You need to be thoughtful of what you put into your body. One of the things I mentioned is you need to have 50% of your plate should be fresh produce. And I don't know if it's just me, but that's something I struggle with. It's much easier buying something that's already pre-made instead of going and cooking vegetables or whatever the case may be from scratch. Is it just me, or the rest of you, do you guys also struggle with that?
It is a consciousness. Pam's hit the nail on the head. I mean, you need to spend the time making it, and then you need to spend the gratitude and the consciousness of eating it. But it's habitual, Chandra. I mean, you cook the vegetables and stuff because you've made it a habit. So buying the pre-cooked stuff is a habit as well.
I was
So
about
you
to
just
say,
need to change your habit.
I think sometimes we take the easy way.
Yeah, I agree with Lenny, but I think, you know, if you just study a few of the recipes that are, it doesn't have to be a labor. You mustn't make it an issue. You must make it with the love of your heart, and you know that's what you're going to put into your body. And I agree with Lenny. You know, take the easiest route to put the food on the plate, and then praise it and enjoy it. That's don't make it a hard task. And that's in our head. That is our mind telling us, oh my gosh, I've got to chop all these vegetables. You know, you can do that when you have a quiet moment the night before and have all of that pre-packed and pre-ready. You know, you're buying it, you can chop it up, you can put it into portion bags, and it's ready. So it's up to us to change our lifestyle, as Lenny says, and it's routine. Every day we do the same thing. We don't stop and buy the pie at the garage. We stop at Woolies and buy the salad or the vegetables, or even the raw vegetables and raw nuts. If you just ate that for lunch, you would be better off than eating the pie. So it's a conscious decision not to eat those other things anymore, ever again.
Pam, you actually gave me a great idea, because what I mentioned when I said I buy the pre-packed things, I mentioned I buy the pre-frozen veggies. And you just said, but you can always chop them up and then freeze them. So that's actually something I've never thought about. So thank you. I'm going to try that one next time. And Leona, your hand was up first, and then Vanessa.
I think the stores nowadays realized that people are more into healthy eating. So there are a lot more healthy options. One thing that I've discovered lately is Woolies sells in their vegetable aisles, they do a veggie patty, but it's not that old soya stuff veggie patties that you used to get. It's really quinoa with beans. There's one with corn, but it is so tasty. We tried it the one day and we were so surprised because we thought it's going to be the soya, like artificial, but it's real veggies that they've actually put into a patty. So what we do in the mornings is we do that patty and then we fry a bit of onion and peppers and we put that onto that patty with some avo, with a bit of bacon if you want to, or with the egg. So it's not difficult. Even the prepared veggies at Woolies, the ones that I've chopped up, if you put that in a bit of coconut oil and you just stir fry them at night and they're a bit crispy, it takes you literally 10 minutes. Pop a piece of steak in at the pan, and within half an hour you have a good meal.
Cool, thanks. Helena, are you vegetarian or do you eat meat? Because you said you guys tried the vegetarian patties. So are you vegetarian or?
No, you know what?
Just out of
I love
curiosity.
my meat. Actually, more keto. We've been into more keto, more meat, but we're trying to incorporate more veggies and not just meat. And we don't do any bread or any starches, no wheat at all. I'm similar to you. I've got IBS, so I've got to be very careful. But we're trying to really bring in a lot more veggies. And I must say that that's what we do nowadays.
Cool. Those meat-free Mondays. Vanessa, your hand was up also. I know your camera is off, so don't stress.
Hi, everybody. Helena, thank you for that, because I can vouch for exactly what Helena has just mentioned. Is my daughter had bought us those schnitzels from Woolies, and for the last week I've been putting off making it because I have this perception that it's not going to taste good. And so we made it this evening, and that's what we had for dinner, with obviously a portion of veggies. And it was absolutely delicious. And it didn't taste, I had this horrible perception that was going to taste like soya, but it wasn't like that at all. So yes, I can absolutely vouch for that. So my point, or the comment that I'd like to make, Chandra, around this is, when we speak about the benefits of a healthy lifestyle, in particular, given the times we're living in right now, where we kind of faced with a lot of volatility, whether it's in our personal lives or our work lives. There's this whole VUCA world around the uncertainty, the complexities, and the ambiguities we're having to deal with, and the impact that a healthy lifestyle actually has on our mental health. And I have a sense that perhaps that is something that we can delve into a little bit, given where majority of people most probably are at risk of generalizing, but could be at this stage in their lives, is where the healthy lifestyle, the fact that we've got a situation of where we've been shut down for such a long time, that we haven't been outdoors as much as we would love to be, that all of that has impacted our mental health. And so the healthy lifestyle, the way we eat, the way we exercise, all of that has been compromised because of over the last 2 years significantly. And so for me, I feel there's this link, there's this benefit of the healthy lifestyle also impacting on our mental health, and particularly given where we are right now in the world.
Yeah. Cool. Vanessa, I'll definitely go do some research on that, and then we'll pop it into one of the sessions and we can talk about it a little bit more. But I do agree, the link between your diet and your mood is really strong. So I know there was another, again with the research, there was a research that found that diets that are high in glycemic triggers increased symptoms of depression and fatigue. So glycemic basically just means it's high in refined carbohydrates, such as all that you find in soft drinks, cakes, white bread, stuff like that. Basically triggers people's depression and fatigue. So your food and the way you eat and your lifestyle definitely has a major effect on your mood or your mental health. So I'll definitely do some research on that, and then we'll have a session. Is everybody cool with that if we kind of delve into that a little bit more in the next session? Does anybody else, while we're on that topic, does anybody else have anything with regards to a healthy lifestyle that wants us to dive into a little bit more as well? You know, you can do everything at like one time. Nobody? Everybody cool? Okay. Helena, is your hand still? Oh, yes. Hi, Lenny.
Chandra, it would be interesting in one of the sessions to maybe go through all of these various practices like keto or banting or whatever, just to understand them. I know the body coach is about moderation and it's not about extremism, but it's nice to have an understanding of the different eating ways, because they are beneficial to certain things. I mean, keto is specifically beneficial to people that are diabetic, and banting perhaps helps people that are suffering from other things. So for me, it would be interesting to just get the difference between them and how they benefit or not benefit. I don't know if that fits into the body coach at all.
No, it is actually also one of the sessions. So we are going to look at keto, high or low carb, high protein, low protein. So we're going to do a session on all of those little diets, even gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan. So we'll do a quick little thing on each of those. I think it's going to be, it'll either be in 16 or 17 or in a little bit of both, because 16 and 17, we are going to chat about good food groups and bad food groups. So I think we said we'll split it up into both of those. So there's still a lot to come on this course, guys. I think by the end of it, you're going to be tired of me. Okay, cool. So Vanessa, it's only then your request. I'll make a note of it, and then we'll definitely have a session on that. Okay, guys. We're going to do a 3-minute break. I just please want to go and refill my water. In the meantime, while we're on the break, please in your manual go to, I think it is page 21, the goal setting worksheet. Get that one out, please, or open, please. Okay, it's 26 past, so let's say 4 minutes. I'll see you guys then at 7:30. Cool. Okay, guys, if you are back, please pop on your camera so I can just see. Okay, let's jump into goals. Okay, so where's it now? Okay, so SMART goals. Obviously, SMART goals stand for specific, measurable, accountable, realistic, and time-bound. So SMART goals basically just shows you the basic qualities needed to capture each goal. With this exercise, we prefer that it be a short-term goal. The reason why, because it links to what your clients are going to need to do when they come to you for a session. Because remember, we said you're going to space your sessions out maybe once or twice a month. So they're going to need to set a goal for each session. So short-term goals is going to be the best thing in this scenario. And also short-term goals are more achievable, and you get a little bit more excited with a short-term goal than you would with a long-term goal. With the goal setting worksheet, guys, we didn't give you guys a literal worksheet where you can go and you can fill it in. You can write it down yourself. So you'll see that it says name your goal, describe your goal, and all of that. So we don't have a template for it. I don't think we have a template for it in the 9-day course either, Lenny, right? There's not a template for it. No. Okay. I was questioning myself.
It's like a little Excel spreadsheet that Leslie shares that you put in.
Yeah, but I think that's more
Not
for the
really.
PDP, not as much for the SMART goals. So we don't have a template.
Right.
Yeah. So we don't have a template for it. So just go write it down. I tried finding a template for it online. I couldn't really get a decent one. So I decided, we'll just do it this way. It's fine. So I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an example with the goal setting worksheet with regards to myself. So remember, with Body Coach, there's not one goal, but 3 goals. One for Think Right, one for Move Right, and one for Eat Right. So that being said, if it were me and I was the one coming to you for this exercise, my first goal I would describe, or let's say my Think Right goal first. So my Think Right goal would to be more positive. Describe your goal and be more specific. So the reason I chose this one as a goal, ever since I came back from Cape Town, I've been in a rut. Honestly, I know I got engaged and I'm supposed to be on this high cloud, but I'm the complete opposite. I've been very agitated, very miserable. Ever since I came back, it's just been stress. I had to catch up on a lot of work. A lot of things have been going on. We have family issues. It's just a lot. So I wake up every morning and I am off the bat, just agitated and irritated, and I go into the day negative. So my Think Right goal is to be more positive. Setting a deadline for it, I'm going to be realistic and say 2 weeks, because we still do have a lot of things going on. So I'm going to say 2 weeks from today. Why is this goal important to you? It's important to me because it's creating cracks in my personal life and with friendships and my relationship. So it's an important goal. What are the obstacles you might face? I struggled with the obstacle part. I think the obstacles are just the situations in my life at the moment. So things I'm dealing with family-wise. So that might be obstacles because it's not something that's just going to up and leave. It's something that's going to be there for a while, and it's not in my control. So let's say it's an issue that I can't control. List the qualities that will help you achieve this goal. I'm determined. I'll say that. What is going to be my reward? Probably my fiance not looking like he wants to kill me every 2 minutes and telling me that I'm very snippy. That'll be my reward. No, I'm just joking. My reward will be, I'll have a nice glass of red wine. I think that's a great goal for me. So my goal for Eat Right would be to stop eating dairy. Describe the goal. Ever since we came back from Cape Town again, I've been eating like crazy. I'm lactose intolerant and I have IBS, and I can't seem to stop eating cheese. And I know it's terrible, and milk and dairy, and I know I should not be doing it, but I can't stop. I'm bloated, I'm cranky, I'm grumpy, I'm cramping, and I'm still doing it. So I need to stop eating dairy. Why is this goal important to me? I also set a deadline. Again, I'm going to say 2 weeks. Why is it important to me? Because it's making me extremely bloated and it's not having a great effect on my body. My skin is freaking out, my weight is fluctuating, and I just don't feel good about myself. What are the obstacles I might face? I really like milk. That is an obstacle I might face. And what are the qualities that can help me achieve this goal? Well, I know what I need to eat, and I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to this. So I know what's good, what's bad for my body, and I know what I can replace it with. So that is a quality that can definitely help me. What will be my reward? Let me think. Maybe going out to dinner and having a nice piece of steak with no cheese. And then last but not least, what will be my move right goal? Getting back into training. So I used to have a very scheduled routine. So I would wake up in the morning, do 10 minutes of exercise. At 10 a.m. we go to the gym for an hour, and then at 4 p.m. we go and walk with our dog. It hasn't happened. So my goal would be to get back into training and to start walking again, and then eventually to get back into running at a moderate pace, because I'm not too good at that. Setting a deadline, still 2 weeks. I'm not gonna say a week from now, because I know it's not gonna happen. Why is it important to me? Because my health is extremely important to me, and my weight. I really want to look good before I need to fit into a very tiny wedding dress. What are the obstacles I might face? This sounds terrible, but my partner, because we kind of feed off of each other. So if I say I'm lazy, he automatically just says, meh. If he says he's lazy, I automatically just go, meh. So he's going to crucify me for this, but my partner might be an obstacle I might face. What qualities do I have that will help me achieve this goal? I really enjoy, I'm really passionate about fitness. So I know if I get back into it, that little bug is going to bite, and I'm going to want to jump right back into it. What will be my reward? Maybe going on a nice hike when I'm feeding up to it and when I feel fit again, if that makes sense. Cool. Does anybody have any questions on this little exercise? If I come back next week and my ring is gone, you know why. Okay, so with regards to, Helena. Oh, Helena, where did you go?
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
So it's an interesting one. I had to look at the same in terms of goal setting for my team. So I launched triathlon training this weekend. I've got a group of 6 athletes as my starter group. It's a trial group for me, so I'm not charging them anything, and I will make sure that they will all be finishing the half Ironman next year in June. So they've just started, some of them just started cycling, they're new to the pool, they really novices, newbies. I was riding with one yesterday on the bike, and I just say, push the little one, it will make you go, fast on the downhills, push the long one. So it's literally starting from scratch. And then what I decided to do is to break their bigger goal, because it's 9 months, it's a long time to keep people going. So we're breaking it up in chunks of 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. So their first goal would be, for example, to do a sprint triathlon. So that will be end of December. So I said to them, don't think about this big elephant. We're eating it in chunks. So we are now aiming to get you to do a sprint triathlon end of December. Then we're going to go to an Olympic one, and then we're going to go to the big one. And we've made sure that we've built in rewards for them. So for each one of those that they actually achieve, they will get something. And I started them off with a starter pack with a coffee mug with really inspirational stuff on, and a little goodie bag of some stuff they would need. But I think rewards are good, and it's good to break them down into smaller goals versus one big goal that takes a long time to get to. So if somebody wants to lose, say, 20 kilograms, instead of just looking at the 20, break them up and say, start with 5 and then another 5 and another 5 maybe. And each time they lose 5, there's some sort of a reward. It can't be food. It might be something else, a spa treatment or whatever they choose. But I think one should break a bigger goal up into smaller ones.
Yeah. So as you can remember, with one of the previous sessions, we said to you guys, break your goals down into smaller pieces to make them achievable. And I love that you said you guys are giving them a reward, because as we also mentioned before, if you give someone a reward, it's going to make them want to do it again. And it's also going to inspire them. So I love that you said you're giving them rewards. And please let us know how it went and how they, if they finished, if they didn't finish, and how it was. Do you also have rewards, goals though, Leanna, when it comes to this? For yourself as a trainer or as a coach?
Yes, I think for me, look, I'll also participate alongside them because I train alongside them. Yes, that's one thing to think about. I actually didn't think about it that way. As I think as a coach, I must also maybe set, certain specific milestones for me. I think for me, it would be just good to get them through each one of those milestones. All of them finish it, they enjoy it, they get out of it, they're inspired to go to the next one. I think that for me is my aim, is to really make them enjoy the journey, feel that they can do it, and then, get them across those finish lines. And that would be a reward for me, because it will tell me that what I'm doing is the right thing.
Cool. Thanks, Helena. I even feel inspired now to go for a little jog. But we'll see. I'm not there yet. Yes, Sally.
Probably a comment and a question. I think the goals are really great and all these questions that we have to reflect on. But I'm just thinking, so after the goal and then after we have that reward, the next stage would be, how are we going to make this long lasting? What's the maintenance and how do we do this? Because sometimes, like I know, I've achieved the goal, now what? That you tend to go back, like sometimes put on that weight or go back to those bad sleeping habits. So I think that's just a question I've been thinking about, like, how do we get this into a habit or put systems in place to maintain this?
So how can I say that? So it's going to be something that needs to be repetitive, if that makes sense. So obviously you're not going to do something and then it's just going to be part of your lifestyle. If you do something enough, it becomes part of your lifestyle. So it's something that you're going to need to do repetitively. So remember what we said, if you set a goal and they don't accomplish that goal, it goes on to the next week, and then another goal gets added. But if they finish the goal, they add a new goal, just a new goal. But it is what they do in this session, they do in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th session. So it's a constant loop. So they don't stop doing it. They continue to do it and they continue to focus on that goal, or whatever it is that they did. So it becomes part of their lifestyle. And if they ever fall back, that's why we tell you guys to do the, what's it called? Now I'm forgetting the word. In your workbook, the diary, the food diary, where they have to write down their thoughts, eating patterns and all of that, so that when they find, okay, they've gone backwards or they've stopped doing what they're doing, they go back into their maintenance plan. So be sure with your clients that they journal, because when they figure out, okay, wait, they picked up weight again, if they changed something, they can go back to their maintenance plan. They redo it until it again becomes part of your lifestyle. No one is going to be perfect all year round or for 2 years or whatever the case may be. They are going to have mishaps and they are going to have slip-ups, and that is 100% okay. You are still human. So even though you are extremely healthy, you are going to have a situation where you might slip up. It's fixable, it's fine. So as long as it becomes part of their lifestyle by doing it habitually, it'll be okay. Does that answer your question, Sally? Cool. Vanessa.
Thank you, Chandra. If I could just offer in terms of Sally's question, something that I've practiced that seems to be working, and that's around the question itself is why is this goal important to you? And really creating a structure around that where we actually end up with creating value, because it's all about the value that gets created, and the value that gets created has a direct bearing on the sustainability of it. And so in creating that value, so if you think about it, all of us have been for an interview of some sort at some stage in our lives. And so if you go and you buy a new suit for that interview, there are 3 levels that you could look at it in the way you create value. The first one is at a functional level. So at a functional level, you're just buying a new suit. It's literally having a new suit in your hand. At an emotional level, you are actually buying that new suit so that you feel good when you dress up. And at a social level, you want to be perceived as confident in that suit when you go for that interview. And so what you're actually buying is not the suit, you are buying the confidence. And so when you acknowledge that you're buying the confidence, the value is that much greater than buying the suit. And so then it's about then the practice that goes with that to create the habit and the discipline. And so the discipline, there's a higher probability you can sustain following something, just being disciplined to practice either daily, weekly, or monthly, whatever the case may be, if the value that you've created is great enough to make you want to do that. So if you just say, I need to buy that suit, you're buying that suit for that day. But when you're buying confidence, I mean, there's no way that it's written that the suit equals confidence. You're creating that value for yourself to say, if I bought that suit and I wore that suit and I felt good, I perceive that the person that's my interviewer is going to perceive me as being confident. And so for me, the important thing that I found quite valuable is value creation. So as important as the goal is, to really understand that every single one of us is unique. And so what we do is, what I see in buying a suit versus what you may see in buying a suit will be totally different at a functional level, at an emotional level, and at a social level. And so it's about how do we get to that nitty-gritty to really own in on what is that actual value, that we don't have to even chase after them, our coachees, to make sure that they're doing the right thing, that they're practicing, and that they're creating the rhythm of the discipline that they need to do. Because they would already buy into it because they see the value in doing it. So for me, that 4th question on the document, why is this goal important? I would unpack that into 3 levels. And a lot of us, all of those levels exist in every single decision we make, but we do it subconsciously. So it's about bringing it to the fore and by asking the question, getting the individual to actually think about it and explore that. I've practiced this, it does work around directly linking the sustainability of a goal and achieving that goal, when we're able to actually explore what the actual value that the individual wants to create from that goal. I hope that's helpful.
Thanks, Vanessa. Sally, that also helped you a little bit. I think that that statement kind of was what does Diana always say? The penny dropped for a few people, I think. Thanks, Vanessa. Okay, so does anybody else have any questions before we move on? I see we have 10 minutes left and you guys have a lot of homework. Not a lot, but more than usual. Cool. Okay, guys, so for homework, we are putting you a little bit on the spot. You are going to, for yourself, you are going to go and do that goal setting worksheet, but you are also going to go and do it on somebody else. Whether it is a family member, a potential client, a friend, whatever the case may be, it needs to be from somebody else. And I will need that person's email address and cell phone number. The reason why is just so that we know you didn't just fill it in twice yourself. So I would promise we're not going to send them an email or anything like that. But if it does look a little bit, I'm trying to think of a nice word, like you did it, we are going to kind of ask around, because this will count towards your qualification or your certification. So do it on yourself and do it on somebody else, please. Any questions around that? No. Okay. It will also.
When must it be finished?
Hello.
When
Okay, I was about
must
to
we
say.
have it done?
Okay, I know it's a little bit short notice, so I'm not going to say this week. I'll say on next session for next week. When is our next session? Let me just check quickly. So not Saturday, but hold on one second, guys. Sorry, my internet is very slow. So
I've got
the
it as
18th of October.
Monday.
Yeah. So Monday the 18th.
Yeah.
Is that enough time for you guys? Okay. Then the next thing I want you guys to do for homework as well, please read through that little piece at the bottom where it says short-term goals. And then if you go a little bit down the page, there's a little thing that says client and inspiration exercise. So it says the client can set a goal or use his or her journal for the inspirational exercise. The goal is to inspire and motivate the client. Okay, so your client, well, the other person doesn't have to do this. I want you to do this. So for next week as well, write a motivational or inspirational quote. Not for each week, it's just going to be for this session for now. Read it every day up until Monday. So this I kind of want you guys to do as soon as possible. Read it every day up until our next exercise. So as it says, it can be a scripture, a quote by a famous person, an inspirational poem, anything that clicks with you, that you find inspirational. How must we submit this? Okay, so with the goal setting worksheet, you can email it or you can send it to me via WhatsApp, whatever is easier for you. If you want to do it on Word, you can email it. If you want to write it down and send a picture, honestly, guys, whatever works best for you. And then the motivational quote, you're not going to share it with the whole class. If you want to, you can, so that you don't have to send me. Just write it down and have it ready for the next session. Cool. As it says at the bottom, if the client battles and can't set goals, use the resource triangle tool. We are going to do resource triangle next week. So for those of you who have done the NLP course a million times, you are more than welcome to join us. If you don't want to do it, it's 100% fine. I know a lot of you guys have done it a few times. So if any of you guys see that you are struggling with the goal setting, please let me know, and then we can maybe use you as an example I don't want to say a guinea pig, but use you for resource triangle next week. Otherwise, we are going to do resource triangle on each and everybody. I think we probably might do that. So also for next week, 3 pieces of paper, A4 paper, with one with the words written stuck on it, big so you can see. One with the word, Lenny, what's it? Resources on it.
Resources.
Yes, resources and
desired.
Yes. Completely blanked out on that one.
This is my three.
Thank you, Elena. Okay, yeah, if everybody can see, Elena has hers printed out. So if you don't understand, there's a living, breathing example right there. Mine is somewhere, I wrote it on highlighter when I did with highlighter on a piece of paper. It's faded by now. I don't even know where it is. Cool. I think we probably might do resource triangle on the whole group, but if there is someone that is struggling specifically, we might only do it on one person. But also for next week's session, Dion is also going to be on to help with that. So it's going to be fun. And then also, obviously, for those of you who don't know, for next week's session, you are going to want to be able to put your camera in a place where you can walk, if it makes sense. You are going to need enough space to place your papers out far enough from each other that you can go from one to the other. Also, where you can put your camera facing down, so we will be able to see you if you are standing. Does that make sense? We'll explain it next week as well. I don't have Leslie's stunning Excel 3-piece thing that she shows you guys, but it's basically going to be a paper here, a paper there, and a paper there. Cool. Okay, guys, does anybody have any questions on that? Not. Okay.
Chandra, I have a question.
Yes.
Chandra, yeah, just those 3 goals that we are. So I'm assuming we're doing all 3 goals for ourselves and for the other person. Also, all three goals.
Yes. So one for think, one for
Yes.
move, and one for eat right, please.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Cool. So the goals that we want you to do on somebody else, it can be a family member, because I know a lot of you haven't started finding clients for Body Coach. So I'm not going to ask you to go find a stranger in 4 days. You're more than welcome to do it on a family member, as long as they're comfortable with it and you're comfortable with it. Cool. Okay, guys, we actually finished on time. So then I'll see you all on Saturday morning. Hope you guys are excited. It's going to be a fun session. Resource triangle is my favorite NLP technique, and it is possibly one of the strongest NLP techniques I've ever done. Cool. Okay, see you guys on Saturday.